Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is the day. Answers. Welcome to the full release of NMIXX's very first EP, the Expergo EP, and the title track Love Me Like This. It's finally here. I have been waiting for so long for this. I've been so excited for it. NMIXX are the first group that I ever broke my cardinal rule of not listening to any album spoilers, because we checked out the acapella album medley at the way back when it dropped, which feels like an eternity ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it because it felt like the first time that the members got their chance to shine with their vocals. And then of course we checked out the pre-release, which was a real musical experience for me, incorporating a nursery rhyme into a K-pop song. But the full release is here, the title track is here, and I'm so excited for it. Love Me Like This. To be honest, I don't remember what it sounded like on the acapella album teaser. But frankly, I don't really care that I did, because more than likely, it is going to sound like a completely different song compared to the vocal-only version, and for that I'm tremendously excited. So, let's bring it over on the big screen one time. Heads up, we are doing an album listen for this. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, album listen for this will be dropping, I think, after this. For you, it'll be like probably 5-6 minutes or so, depending on how long YouTube upload takes. For me, it's probably going to be like half an hour, because I'm going to take a break after this. I need to get some errands done, things like that. But I'm going to check out the album, so look forward to that if you're interested. And in the meantime, let's just jump right into the MV. Here we go.
Love me like this, love me like that, love me like this, and I love it right back. 뛰는 심장 소리를 따라가, 커지는 울림, oh my god, oh yeah. Let me hear you say yeah. 숨겨놨던 맘속 뒷부시, 꺼내 펼쳐봐, 느껴지는 feels, oh yeah. Don't run away, yeah.
Peeps the harmonies, okay. Ooh. Pretty hard-hitting pre-chorus so far. Drop. Okay. They've gone this direction with the drop. Okay. They are really letting the members and their vocals kind of like go front and center a lot on this song so far. Whenever the vocals are taking front and center, it's really front and center, which I very much appreciate. This is so interesting. This drop, I'm trying to think back to other NMIXX title tracks. But I guess we'll talk about that later, because this bridge, ooh, kind of magical bridge. Nice slide up, Lily. And then we've got the crunchy guitar in right away on this final chorus.
like this, love me like that, love me like this, love me like that, love me like this, and I love you right back.
Soyun on the vocal run at the end? I see you. Okay. Okay. Let's talk. Let's talk indeed. This was not what I was expecting. Admittedly, it's once again a very straightforward pop song in a sense. Like, I I know it's been a pretty divisive thing within like the whole K-pop scene in terms of like SNS circles and things like that. But I've grown to kind of appreciate the NMIXX change up Let's Go. Like especially in Dice, I love the switch up in Dice. It really worked for me. With OO it wasn't, I think with OO it was a little bit too much of a drastic change for me, but I really liked the switch up in Dice. And a part of me was kind of hoping that they would actually be one of the groups that would carry on that mid-song genre switch. I'm surprised they didn't. I'm not saying I'm mad at it. I'm surprised they didn't. Because I thought it would be kind of like their staple thing that they would go for. But, never bad to be proven wrong. Never bad to be proven wrong indeed. It's... The third release for me is always the most important one for a group. Because you gain the attention of the public on your debut. You increase your reach on your first comeback. But once you get to the third overall release is when you have to start. That's when you really establish your sound, retain your audience, and break through of that like kind of glass ceiling in a way. And it's interesting that NMIXX decided to kind of switch their sound a little bit on the third release. But I'm not mad at it. There are some things that I really like about this song. The chorus, I think, will need to grow on me a little bit, much like, to be fair, all the NMIXX songs pretty much have had to grow on me a little bit, which isn't anything bad by any means. It gives me an excuse to listen to them over and over again. And like, Dice really grew on me because of that. But I want to talk about that pre-chorus and the difference of the two pre-choruses in verse 1 and verse 2. There's some interesting layering things going on in the second one that we didn't get in the first. So let me try and find it. There we go. So first pre-chorus, we're starting with Soyun. And then switches into Lily. So notice in the background, it was pretty much, I would say pretty much blank in the background in terms of background vocals. You had someone singing exactly one octave lower than the top line. So it just kind of provides an extra like depth, extra bit of depth to that top vocal line. But ultimately, it's a pretty like bog standard top line in that there isn't anything really behind it in terms of like weird separated harmonies and things like that. Like, even if we go all the way back to Soyun's part too, Soyun's part you have a little bit of depth to it. But once Lily's part comes in, it's only that octave in the background. And then we fast forward to the... Oh, it's gonna be so hard to find. That's the bridge. I think it'd be around here. Nope. A little bit further. Even further, okay. So Bei's vocals getting to shine again, which is great. I love hearing Bei's lower tone. I think it suits the group so well. But again, the first half of that pre-chorus does have a lot of background vocals in it, even more so than the first verse did. But that's not, I think, the interesting point about it. It's what happens once Soyun hops on the main part on the second half of the second pre-chorus and listens to the background. It's no longer melodic anymore.
Mountain fireworks, curtain higher hopes, 손을 뻗어. It's so easy, you just get.
So you still have
Mountain fireworks, curtain higher hopes.
you still have that octave in the background, but you have the additional voice now that's essentially chanting the same lyrics and the same rhythm, but all tonality has been thrown out the window on that top line. And it starts to create a different feeling of how the line is delivered, which I think is really interesting how they decided to pair it in comparison to Lily's voice. Soyeon's voice is a lot softer. And interesting they decided to pair the softer voice with the kind of aggressive like gang vocals in the background. Because it creates a little bit of musical dissonance there in that the styles are so different. Because you have Soyeon's really smooth vocals, but then you have, and like in comparison, a fairly harsh on the ears gang chant and vocal. Like it's not smooth. There is no tonality to it. It's like the complete opposite of Soyeon's vocals here. And decided to pair those two together specifically, which I think is a really interesting style choice. And I think I don't know how I feel about it. I think it does transition into the chorus pretty well because the chorus is, love me like this, love me like that. Very minimal tonal quality to it. And then Soyeon on her own, and then it's back into so it's a lot of pairing things going on, which I feel like NMIXX does really well. Is well, even back when they still had 7 members, they would pair vocals and rappers together really well. Like they would pick like different pieces together and manage to get a really cohesive cohesive final project together. And it becomes almost like hard to predict in certain parts of the song where someone is going to come in, and I think that's really smart of them because they can keep changing up the member combinations throughout the song and throughout all their releases, and it keeps their songs sounding fresh. And also keeps the screen time fresh too, which is really nice. The way the song ends too. The choruses, first and second choruses, they open pretty like blank in terms of sound. Like it's just percussion part now. And then once we get to the second part, you get that kind of like crunchy guitar that kicks in, but that crunchy guitar is immediately in on that final chorus. And the final chorus usually is going to be written a little bit differently than the other two before it. And that's evident with the guitar, with the vocal ad-libs as well. And we get a nice little bona fide outro with a little Soyeon low vocal run at the end, like. Oof, that vocal run is, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. What do I think about this song in general? I don't know yet. I don't know, but I think that's okay. I don't need to like everything that comes out. And here's the thing about this song is I don't hate it. I don't dislike it, and I won't go out of my way to not listen to it. I'm like riding the fence on it at the moment, and I think give it a couple weeks or so and it will grow on me. We'll see. Dice took about 2 weeks to grow on me, and Dice ended up being one of my like favorite girl group songs of the year last year, so we'll see where I go with Love Me Like This, but I am excited for the album nonetheless, which I will try and find lyric videos for. If not, we'll just use Spotify because it's a lot easier and it's a lot more reliable in that I don't need to worry about incorrect lyric distributions and things like that. But that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy and want to see what channel icon is, up there you can find the back catalog of stuff watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with whenever I upload new videos. And if you want to watch another video of mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, bye-bye.